Okay, so let's begin. So far, coming to the programming point of view, we have seen about introduction to widgets. So now we know that there are two types of widgets mainly. One is stateless widget and stateful widget. And till now we have only used the stateless widget. However, if you want to see what is like more about stateful widget, you can check the default project that has been created. Okay, so in default project, when you create a new project, that has the stateful widget. Okay, so but the aim is to use as less as possible. Okay, so whenever possible we have to use stateless widget only, but not stateful widget. Okay, there might be some exceptions. Okay, because uh, like using stateful widget will have some performance impact on your app. If you are developing a small app, you don't have to really worry about using stateful widget. When it comes to big apps, you should consider not using stateful widget, but still there are always exceptions. Okay, so we have seen the UI breakdown where I have shown you that everything that you seen on the screen is a widget. Okay, and then we have seen container, row, columns, adding text, buttons, and then I have shown that what is the difference between child and children. Okay, so rows and columns are like table layouts. Okay, so where you will pass number of other widgets, which means that these two take children. When it comes to button, adding text, and container, okay, so they can contain only one widget, which means that you can pass only child. Okay, so when we are discussing about widgets, the widgets are not just limited to this. Like when you think of, okay, these are the basic widgets, it might not be 100% true. Okay, because there might be other basic widgets also. Okay, in your view, table might be a basic widget. Okay, so in my view, rows and columns are table like default widgets. Okay, I mean basic widgets, because someone who is coming from uh, web development background, or like who is already aware of web development, he will think like, okay, let me try with table, and he will go with table widget and do it. So what I mean is, there are number of other basic widgets which you can always try, but this is something what I have tried. And then we have seen one of the popular, like few popular layouts, grid view and list view. Okay, so whatever you see on Facebook, the contacts you see on your mobile phone, so everything is made up of list view. Okay, and we have seen that list view takes something like list style, but it's not limited to that. You can actually pass anything. You can build list view in the way you want. Okay, so when you are actually doing things with list style, it gives a uh, default layout. When you don't want default layout and if you want to custom, that is when you can actually custom list view. Okay, so but we haven't seen about looping the stuff. Okay, so how to generate items in loop. Grid view also we haven't seen how to loop the items. Okay, those things we will look at later, but not now. Okay, so because we are only looking at how to build a user interface. Okay, so wherever possible we will just add a widget and do it. Okay, and then actually we tried to add some image to the list view yesterday, right? But it got failed. Okay, so have anyone of you tried to fix that issue? Okay, no. Okay, so actually there was no issue at all. When I tried the same thing in Dartpad, it worked fine. But anyways, like I'm exactly not sure why it didn't work. Even I didn't give it a try, but that's fine. We will try to sort it out later. So for today, what we'll look at is, okay, for like someone, Lalit Kishore said it worked for him. Did you try to change something, or by default it worked, Lalit? By default. Okay, so actually I uh, the intention be like the intention behind giving some challenge like this is you will actually try to think what's going on. In case if the image is not loaded in your app, you will try to see like try to add some properties, try to explore something. Okay, but anyways, it worked by default. We'll in my lab I will just check it why it is not loading. Maybe not now, some point later. Okay, so today what we'll do is we'll look at adding images and dialogues, and then if possible we'll look at these two stuff also. Okay, so let's begin. So this is the demo app. I have already made the code available for you guys. Okay, so I will upload this later. So I will just open the demo app, whatever we are like coding. Okay, so one thing I would like to share. Okay, so yesterday I was sharing you some programming tips, if you remember. So programming tips. Okay, so like one of the points is split editor programming. So what actually you can do is, okay, so let me remove all this stuff. So when you create a project, just try to clean everything from your main.dot file and just open some like new file. If you just double click here, a new file will open. Okay, so just drag it and move to the other part of the screen, so that you have two screens where you can, in main.dot file we'll actually write our program. You can use this as a rough. Okay, so what you can do is you can just go to the browser. Okay, so go to the browser, flutter.io for example, and then go to docs. So here I told you that you will have number of examples, right? So what you can do is you can actually copy one of the example. Okay, so let's copy fade in fade out. Okay, so when you go to this link, if you scroll to the bottom, okay, you will have the example. I can just click over here, which will copy the whole code. So I know that this is a working code. Okay, so when I just click, it is hiding and it is showing, and then I'll just go here. I will not copy everything over here. So okay, let me copy here and just initially run it and see if it is working or not. I'll just check whether it is working or not, and then what I will do is I'll just move everything over to the rough space. So and then what I will do is I will just try to type whatever over here. So but not like, I will not just type import first. Okay, so writing import first is a kind of bad practice, I can say, because like we have this code suggestions, right? So let's not type this part first. So we know that, okay, we can, this is something what you could start first, writing a stateless widget. So whenever you are writing something on your screen, the first thing you should do is write a stateless widget. You can do just by typing st, and it will show some recommendations, right? Just click over here and then my app, and then try to resolve the issues. So maybe if you don't know what I should import, if when you click like this, it will show some imports, right? Here you know that, okay, material dot has been imported, so you can just click on that, and then you can write void main. Okay, so likewise you can try to write the same stuff from here to here. Okay, so if I take this part, you can see they have written material app. I can just write material app. Okay, and then instead of just typing title, what I could do is I'll just go here, plus control space bar. It will show me. So where is title? I'll check title. Okay, and then I'll write the title. So if you see title, it takes a string, not a widget. So I have to give something like this, material app example. Okay, so likewise try to type the whole program over here, then you will actually understand more about the code population. Okay, like I mean the code suggestions and everything. Okay, but if you write something on paper and try to write it right, you will end up with so many issues. And if I just try to type it manually without using any code suggestions, it will be very messy and you really can't fix the issues. Okay, so also even though when I'm typing import and it is showing some suggestions, it's not a good practice to import initially and then do it. Okay, so why it is not not a good practice is, just imagine you have seen a program that imports 3 imports. Okay, these are basically programs, right? So if you import those 3 imports and just using only material dot dot, okay, for example import package. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, import, let me do one more. Okay, like this. And then if I'm actually importing multiple stuff and then writing the app, and if I end up only using one of that stuff, okay, what will happen is the overall size of the app will get increased, because at the end when you compile the whole product and then if you create that actual installation file, that will include these libraries also. Okay, libraries means after all they are code files. Okay, this may be linked with maybe 20 code files or 30 code files, maybe 100, you don't know. For example, if uh, like one of it is linking to a very big size, that whole size will be added. Okay, so somebody said that the presentation isn't clear, sir. Okay, uh, you mean that you're not getting a good resolution in your presentation, right, Farhana? Okay, like anyways I will be providing the recorded videos, right? So you can actually look into it. For now, just listen and try to follow it. Okay, text size is small, maybe you are using mobile phone. Okay, so let me increase the text size, make text bigger. Okay, lamp. So I'm actually increasing size. It was 120% before, and I'm making it 140. Okay, but anyways when you look at the YouTube videos that will have high like HD quality, probably it will be good. Okay, yeah, it's taking a moment to refresh. Give me a second. So whatever I am sharing right now, right, it's related to making your apps smaller. Okay, so just imagine your app is 100 MB and there is a different app with 20 MB. Who, like, which app people will download, the 20 MB one or the 100 MB one? 20 MB one, because uh, data is a constraint for us. Okay, so we are worried about running out of data because we are using some limited data plan, and there people are worried, so we will lose the customer. That is where we should not import first, we should write the code, resolve the issues. Okay, is it clear, guys? Okay, hopefully it is clear. So I'm just closing this stuff, and like from today practice this split editor programming. Okay, so this is some terminology where I made it up myself. It's not, you might not find it somewhere in the internet. I made it up. Okay, so practice this. Take a working app from this site. Okay, like go to this cookbook, take some app, type it, take some app, type it. You will know, you will understand the code suggestions. Okay, so if you are following me, whatever code I am typing, I am just following from the suggestions and doing it. Okay, so if you land yourself in a complicated example, that's fine, like just type it once and leave it. And also in websites, it's always important to see if there is some example shared. Okay, it's always easy to follow some example. Okay, so examples are often at the bottom of the page. Okay, so interactive example. Okay, this is nothing but Dartpad also. This is Dartpad. They integrated into the website. Okay, so now we will go to our so the topics what we are going to discuss is adding images, right? Okay, so let me start writing the app. Okay, I will actually stop this. I am going to remove it. Okay, see, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my necessary code over here. Okay, so whatever I'm going to type here, I'm just putting it over here. Okay, so that I can easily type also. Like I'm giving you a live demo of how I'm going to do. Okay, so this is something which will work. So okay, and then I'm going to call some image, my image from assets.
Sir, screen is not visible.
How come?
Screen is not visible, sir.
Okay. Okay, the presentation I have stopped. Okay. Okay. So what I did was I just copied the necessary code, whatever I am going to use it here. Okay, it might not, the whatever we are going to write might not end up as much like this. So in order to make the whole line visible, if you see this whole line is not visible, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to view, toggle word wrap. So this is something which will be useful for your editors. So here also I'm going to enable this toggle word wrap. Okay, so you can see that whole link is available, this kind of thing stuff is available. So right now I am demoing this split editor programming. At the same time I am developing my own app. Okay, so this is how, see, these kind of things will help you with uh, speeding up the things. Okay, you can easily navigate like once you understand most of the options, it will be very easy for your development. So let's start. So we are going to look into images and show dialog. Okay, if possible we will look at the other stuff. Okay, the other stuff in the sense app bar and bottom bar. Okay, so most of you guys will be thinking like atom bar, like app bar and bottom bar might be difficult compared to these two topics or the other things. These two are actually simple, okay, compared to these two. Okay, but anyways we look into it. So let's begin. So the first thing, like where I should be, like the first thing what I should be writing here, like whether it is import statement or void main, or like I'm going to write a stateless widget. Okay, so always start with stateless widget, type st, and then it will show some recommendation, and then go with stateless widget my app. And then what we should do next?
Import.
Okay, how we are going to import? We are going to go on top of the like code where we have issues. Okay, see, this kind of line is called squiggly line. Probably when you are writing on your books, you will write the title and draw this squiggly line. Okay, so I'm sharing the terminology because you will be able to actually speak the code. See, it's important to speak about code as well. Like, you are a programmer, very good, you have to speak about code also. So that's why like in programming tips I mentioned that like writing, reading and listening. Okay, so everything is, even speaking is also important. We'll do this also. Okay, speaking, writing, reading and listening. So all these things are important. You always have to listen coding. Like for example, you went for a walk, play some coding video and listen to it, just like you listen to songs. Okay, after you listen to so much time you will feel tired, right? You can shift to other things, news, English listening or coding listening. Okay, you can do lots of stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to press control dot and then it will show me some recommendations. So we know that, like, we after a few days of programming you will understand that okay, this is something I have to import and it will resolve my issues. So it is important that no squiggly lines are appearing in your program. Okay, and one important thing I will show you. If you see this blue squiggly line, this may be something else. Okay, so blue squiggly lines are like uh, recommendations. Okay, this is how you do it. For example, if I make it small m, you can see some blue squiggly line is appearing. So I go to the bulb and it says that ignore lint camel case. So uh, there is something like camel case and then like capitals, okay, starting with camel case, and there is other case, I can't recall it, but here we should not go with camel case, we should go with the other type. Like if I get, you'll get the terminology. If you search with camel case, you will understand about the other terminologies also. Okay, and then I am resolving this issue. I'm putting the material.dat file. So since we need a starting point for our app, we are going to add void main off. See, the reason why I am repeating this is, even when you are writing your own app, every time do this practice, so that after few days you will not refer to any documentation. Within 1 minute you will be writing 30 lines of code or 20 lines of code. Okay, within a minute if you are writing that much code, right, it is very good. Okay, run app of my app of. See, if you take this run app command in C or C++, in order to run, you will be not doing something like that. Okay, so this is a specific function for Flutter. Like in order to render everything into the screen, all these things, this is the stuff. So instead of this, if I write print 1 2 3 and then execute this app, like I would like to see how it behaves. Probably it will be a simple Dart program. Okay, let's see what will happen. So nothing has happened, nothing is like wait one second. Yeah, I'll split the screens again. See, I will make this code really small, I'll make this big, or okay, I will hide this one, this part of the code. Okay, so now like the reason why I am doing this is in order to make you guys aware of how to navigate through IDE. Okay, so let me stop this and then run. Moving around IDE is as much important as coding the stuff. Okay, so anyways, it has shown 1 2 3 over here and nothing is shown on the screen. Even if I let me try to add something over here. Okay, so how to make this text come into center of the screen? I can actually click here and then go with code save, wrap with container. So do you guys know what is the meaning of wrapping? Wrap. Say yes or no, I will continue to explain. Have you heard this word wrap? You might have heard. Okay, so wrapping means if you go to McDonald's and like KFC, wherever, Burger King, they are actually rolling it, like they will roll it, right? Rolling is a wrap. Keeping inside and rolling it is a wrap. If you take a burger, they put one at the bottom and one at the top, right? So everything stuffed inside, so that is also a wrapping. Okay, so we are adding something to top and the bottom, that is called wrapping, wrap to center. So I saved it, nothing has appeared. So what if I do something like this? So if I call this function, Okay, so it is asking for text directional widget. So let me not add the text direction, let me make it a material app. So wrap with a widget, material app. Okay, and then material app doesn't take children, it needs home. Okay, so at this point it is appearing. If I comment out this line, let's see what will appear. Okay, actually nothing should appear. Let me rerun this. Oh. So nothing is on top of the screen and still we are getting 1 2 3. Okay, so I can actually like, if we are having void main, it will run like a simple program, it will be like a simple dart program. So those who are thinking that I need to practice dart, this is how you practice. You put your code inside void main, write functions and everything. Okay, but for now we'll not concentrate much on dart because our target is to create some user interfaces. Okay, like before we go for first break, I mean before we go for that first break, we need to ensure that we are in a position to create some user interfaces, and we will practice it for maybe 2-3 days and then we'll go with the next topics. Okay, so I'm removing, like, I don't have to remove this, as I can run both. Yeah, probably it's like, okay, it's loading, it's loaded. And then what I will do next is I will add this to a scaffold. Okay, scaffold needs a body, and then everything will change, everything will look much better. Once after adding material app and scaffold only, you are actually getting the app layout. Okay, so this is where I can add app bar, bottom bar, buttons, blah 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 blah, and everything will look much better. Okay, so after this, what I'm going to do is I wanted to show you about images, right? Instead of text here, what I will do is, okay, images dot. Okay, so now our target is to add images, right? So now we need to think about how to add images in Flutter. Okay, the first thing we have to do is go ahead and type image, and then plus controls, like a control space bar, or wait for the suggestions to appear. So you can see that image of, image.asset, image.file, image.memory, image.network. Okay, so see, in computer terminology, asset means something, some file that is added to your project. Okay, somebody is asking what scaffold means. Okay, so scaffold means there is nothing like meaning. Maybe you can just Google what is the meaning of scaffold. Okay, so let me Google it. Okay, so it says a structure made using scaffolding, a raised wooden platform would use public execution of criminals. Okay, so the meaning itself, okay, so the meaning itself doesn't make sense. Okay, if you see, okay, scaffold is having a different meaning. Okay, scaffold meaning in programming. Scaffolding as used in computer refers to two techniques. First, a code generation technique related to database access, blah blah blah. Okay, I think it's a very common terminology used, but I'm exactly not sure what is the meaning of that word. But by adding scaffold, it will give you many options to add. For example, app bar I can add like this, bottom navigation bar I can add this. Okay, so we can take it like it's a terminology that has been given for the class. Okay, so they had defined this class name as scaffold, that's it. They can rename it to something else also. Okay, so when you add what the thing you should remember is, when you add scaffold inside material app, your user interface changes. Okay, so one of the post here is saying that scaffolding generally refers to quickly set up skeleton for an app. Okay, so maybe this is true for Flutter, but not true for other things. Maybe in, if you take database, scaffolding might have different meaning. Okay, so it depends on the platform where you are using. Okay, maybe in your, if you are reading Java and if you heard about scaffold word, it might have different meaning over there. Here the meaning is you are actually adding the skeleton of an app. Okay, so maybe I'm not 100% clear. Is there any other kinds of layout like Flutter? Um, okay, not that something I am aware of. Okay, scaffold, like maybe this is how we can do it. Maybe what you can do is you can actually go to definition. You can see that scaffold itself extends stateful widget. Okay, possibly I can right click over here, peek, go to implementation. See, like these are multiple options which you can try. If you are comfortable with these options, what is the definition, what is the implementation, you will actually understand about whoops concept much better. Okay, and one thing guys, you guys have learned whoop concepts to write programs, right? Like in my view, we learn whoops concepts to understand the frameworks, understand the documentation. Okay, more than programming. In whoops concepts, we actually understand the framework much better, because all these frameworks are developed using whoops concept. That's where your whoops concept skills will come into picture. Okay, we were taught like learn whoops concepts to write better programs. Okay, but the actual scenario is learn whoops concepts to understand documentation better, learn whoops concepts to understand the code. Okay, so if you understand this stuff, that is fine. If you're not using this in your program, that is absolutely fine. Okay, so what I can do is I can just go here and peek implementations. Okay, I will find out, I'm trying to find out who implements this stateful widget. I think because this is a very common type of thing in Flutter, you can see lots of things have implemented. Okay, maybe you can actually see if there is something similar to scaffold. Okay, see, actually when I remove this scaffold, okay, see, let me remove this scaffold. So what came inside scaffold, like what came in place of scaffold here? I have highlighted as well, center, right? So center is also like scaffold. Okay, if I'm adding container is also a scaffold. So everything is a layout, right? Scaffold is also a widget. Okay, but just scaffold takes body. Okay, so like this, like I am not going anywhere, I'm not going out of my IDE, I am just going through this code and trying to make sense with my whoops skills. Whoops means object oriented programming language. Okay, okay, so let's move ahead. And then since I have to add some image, now instead of text I want to add some image here. I am just typing image. Okay, when I typed image, it has shown me some options. Okay, so image.network, image.asset, image. Okay, so this is something which I can easily try. If I have an image from internet, I can easily try this. Okay, so let me click on this. You might wonder, like, shall I try this? Okay, let's see. It's taking image. Let's go to definition and you can explore what does image means. Okay, so it takes image. So image provider. Okay, so we actually have to we actually have to dig too much for this in order to use this. So this is the class, this is the constructor. Okay, if I go here, where is the image? So image, image.network, image.file. See, these things also are constructors. Sorry. So this is a default constructor. Like if I give image of, that is a default constructor. If I give image.network, that is also a constructor. Okay. Image.file is also a constructor. Image.asset is also a constructor. There are a number of ways. Image.memory, but like for your purpose you have to actually find. So if I take image provider is something, so I can just go back here. Image provider is a abstract class, so I can't actually give it here. So what I have to do is I have to find out which classes uses this image provider. I can go peak implementation. See, when I'm going for peak implementation, I am going forward. Who uses this class? When I go for definition, I am going backward. What is this class? Who implements this class? What is this class? Okay. Okay. I can actually close this, and I can. So let me do it again. Right click here, go to definition. Okay, so image provider, I'm again going to definition, and abstract class we can't instantiate. Maybe you have read about abstract class and it will just say that you can't instantiate. If you are not getting it, then this is something you can actually get it now. Okay, so image provider, I'm just going forward now, peak implementation. I think this kind of navigation you can do in all programming languages if you are using VS Code. Maybe the other IDEs also will be providing same features, but I'm not sure. So these are something which are actually using it. Okay, so image resize, file image, memory image, extra image. Okay, so we can actually try it, but we'll not try it because trying them will make it more complicated. Even I didn't try it. This is for the first time I am digging it. Okay, maybe like some point later I will actually try it myself, but not now. So right now I know that I need to pass an image, and then I know these are the constructors. Okay, if you go to Flutter documentation and search for image, okay, so this is pointing to general documentation. What I can do is I actually have to go to API reference. Okay, API reference will have all the information about the code. Okay, like about the classes and everything. I'm just typing image. So the one I need to do is image class from widgets or image class from image. I think we can actually like as you search more time, these things will make sense. For now, what I will do is I will go with image from widgets and image class. Okay, so it says that several constructors are provided. Okay, so now you know that we can have more constructors for one class. Okay, so default constructor and named constructors. So everything is documented over here. Even along with example, there are some examples also. If I just use this command network, see, I can actually give something like this image. Maybe I will try to do this. I'm not sure whether it will work or not. Yeah, it worked actually. So the other way I could do is good, right? We are not doing it the traditional way. So this is the this is not a traditional way. Sorry. Okay, so what I can do is image dot network. So I will directly use this network, and I will pass this link over there. So let me change this and let it fail, and then I again loaded it. So now you know that like we are actually using this constructor to do it. The other way is image of image and network image. So how we found it out? We can go to definition of image. Okay, and then we can actually go to the definition of image provider, and then we will see that who uses this image provider. So here image is used by network image. Let's see, we can find image. Okay, right click, pick definitions. Okay, so and then you can see there is something like network image. Okay, network image of, okay, so the thing that was confusing to me is the network image is a abstract class, but they have instantiated it. Okay, probably like I'm not aware of this syntax, so we'll leave it. Okay, so we will go with the default constructor. Later, like if I come across, like if I understand what this stuff is about, I will try to explain it. So this is how basically we add the images. Okay, even you, like you guys can try to understand, like maybe in Whoop's concept, like if class is abstract, there might be a way to instantiate it also. Okay, maybe this factory keyword might be actually helping it to get instantiated. Okay, but we, like, that's okay. So this is how you load images. Okay, so and one more thing is, this is one way of loading images. The other way is we have to add images to assets. Okay, when I say adding images to assets, like in your projects when you are developing web, something like that, you will, what you will do, you will create some folder called images, right? In similar way, like when you are adding something like images folder and adding some image over there, it means that you are actually creating an asset that can be used in your project. Okay, so let me add some image over there. So I'm just adding some image. So this is an image which I have added. Okay, it's having PNG extension. I think you can add any extension like JPG, JPEG. Okay, doesn't matter much. But if it is not working, then you might have to worry about extension. So and then what I will do is I will go to this actual program and image dot, what option we have to select now? Okay, so the two options that were close are, I could see there are two things which are close. What are those two things? Asset or file. Okay, so I will go with asset because I know asset will work. File, this is something you could try. Memory also, if you want to try, you can try, because asset works for us. Okay, network works for us. File, that is something you could try. Okay, so I will go with asset, and then I will actually give that path. So images, I need to ensure that I am giving like same names. Okay, slash fav icon dot png. Okay, so if you see there is some slight color change here, what I will do is, I think this is something we should give. So like the good thing is the IDE recognize I should not give something like this. I think probably it will not work. Okay, so if I give like this, it will work. So we, like when you are giving mentioning path, we will have something like relative path, absolute path. Okay, like discussing those things will be out of scope. Okay, so that's okay, like you can learn it yourself. Just search for relative path and absolute path and try to learn something about it. It's not that important, you don't have to remember anything about it. So whatever works for you, just follow with it. Give me a second, guys. So I have added an image and now I'm running this app. Okay, so it is throwing some error. So probably I need to add the necessary, or I have something. Yep, yeah. So okay, so I have added image to asset, and then you can see it is not getting loaded. Okay, so let's see the error message, why it is not getting loaded. Unable to load asset. Okay, and then there is some information, image provided as such, okay, not found, blah blah blah, it is stealing. And you are pretty sure that you are doing it the correct way, whatever shown in Google or Flutter site, you are doing it same way, and still it is not working. The reason is, whenever if you are adding some images to your program, you need to add that to pubspec.yaml file. Okay, this is where you actually add some images, some packages, like in your, like once we finish some basic topics, we will be actually covering what are these packages, how to add different font. Okay, so you guys like different fonts, right? You can actually add some fonts over here. Okay, so for now what we'll do is, if you go through this file, it has some to add assets to your application. Let me go with toggle word wrap. To add assets to your application, do like this. Okay, so for example, if you don't know the word assets, you might be confused. Okay, so that's why I was mentioning assets. So from today onwards, if you are going to add some images to your projects, use the word assets. Okay, whether Java program, Python, website, blah blah blah, like instead of naming it something like images, use assets. Okay, assets. I'm just typing it so that you'll know it. Okay, so I'm going to do assets dash images slash, I can give, oh sorry, I can't drag and drop it, fav icon dot png. Okay, now I have like saved this, and I need to, it's important that you stay in main.dot file or some dot file to actually execute the program. Okay, if you go to pubspec.yaml file and actually run it, it might consider that YAML is a different extension and it's not a Flutter program. Okay, so I just saved it, and using hot reload or hot restart, the icon has appeared. Okay, so for example, if I am having more than, okay, more like, let me go here, sorry, actually my mouse is giving wrong clicks, reveal in Explorer. I'm just going inside images and multiplying these images. Okay, now the situation is I have so many images, how to display the second image? Okay, so do I need to add individual files into assets? Like adding those the files individually will be a pain, right? Okay, so like this, if I want to use these two files, I have to go to assets, add them. Instead, what you can do is you can just remove these, which will help you to add the whole folder. Okay, I'm not sure this is the exact syntax, but let's try it will work or not. Okay, let me give some wrong name, it will hide, and then give a right name, it has appeared again. So you can see that it is actually working, right? So we haven't given the file names. If I give something like this and then try to load this app again, okay, it is still showing. Okay, let's load something that doesn't exist. I think probably the catchy, like the program might have catchy, that's why it's showing like that. Let's run it again. So sorry, give me guys, let me close the door. Yep. So now you can't see anything on the screen, right? So if I change this to usual name, it is appearing. If I am trying to access second file, it's not appearing. Okay, a minute back, because of the catchy, like everything will be catchy, right? If you don't know what is meant by catchy, catchy means when you run some program, it will try to keep something in memory or in some files, okay, so that subsequent loads will be much faster. Okay, so that's how we do it. So instead of adding individual files, you can add the whole folder also. Okay, yeah, now it's working fine. So if, like, in case if a hot reload and hot restart is not working, since you are modifying a file which is having different extension, this is where you actually have to rerun the whole app. Okay, clear guys? A ping yes or no? Okay, so this is how you add images. Just imagine I change this to column. Wait, okay, so let me use code recommendations to change this to column. Now what I'll do is I'll just change this to column. Okay, remove this container and then see if it is loading. It is still loading. Okay, so let me add multiple images. And okay, so there is an error. So how to solve this error? So any recommendation guys? Okay, list. Okay, so we can use list view, and if you really think that it's not required to scroll, you can actually use single scroll child widget. Adding single scroll view will actually remove that error. Okay, but okay, it's making scrollable also, which is really good. Okay, so single scroll, single child scroll view. Okay, you don't have to worry about remembering this. You will remember it as days pass on. Okay, so you can just Google maybe single child scroll view. Okay, that's okay. Like don't have to remember these names. Like don't worry if names are too difficult to remember. As you practice, you will remember. You will remember them. I can actually remove this, and somebody said list view. Okay, I can actually do this also. So list view is giving a different layout here. Okay, like this you can actually develop a images app also. Give me a second guys, somebody has knocked on my door. Is it fine if we extend the class for some more time? Yep. Okay, give me a minute. Yep, I'm back, guys. So you understand, right? Like there is nothing like only one way of, guys, you there? Say yes or no. Yeah, okay. So there is no one way of solving the issues. There is like always there is multiple ways to solve our issues. Okay. So like this, you can put some images in your in a folder, add this code, and then you can actually develop an screen share like wallpaper app, blah blah blah. Okay, something like that. Like we can actually make these images clickable, go to new page. Okay, provide an option to download. uh, like this we can actually do multiple things. So images is done. So I am going to delete this app. Find it. So we'll move to we'll move to this one. Okay, give me a second. So we'll move to dialogues. Shall we do dialogues tomorrow? Okay, so we'll do dialogues tomorrow, and I will just show how you can add app bar, because adding an app bar will make your app much like look much better. Okay, so I think without app bar everything will look like not good. Like everything will look like, okay, this is just a screen, anyone can do it. But adding an app bar will make it look good. So we'll just add app bar today. But anyways, we like in upcoming classes we'll actually discuss more options that are available in app bar. So in order to app bar, what we should do, like I think I mentioned it several times in the previous classes. Any ideas, guys? So where we can add the app bar? Okay, so that's fine. So so scaffold is the stuff that is giving you the skeleton of the app. Okay, without scaffold your app looks, okay, above body. Okay, very good. So within scaffold it doesn't have to be above body, it has to be within scaffold. Whether you write it here or here, anywhere it is fine. Okay, so what I will do is I just go here, click control space app bar. Okay, if you don't know, like for example, it's like I understand it's quite impossible to go here. We might be thinking where to add app bar. You can just go to documentation, app bar, and then you can actually check this and see some examples which are mentioned here. Okay, so this kind of app bar you can add. See, like our English skills and learning some fundamentals of programming, those things actually help us to understand the documentation. Okay, when you are able to understand this stuff by reading yourself, you are actually becoming a self learner. Okay, it's important to be a self learner, because when you join some companies, like you might be too much dependent on others to learn something. Okay, that's not a good idea. Like always be like, somebody tell you that do this, you do the groundwork and do it. Okay, unless and until you really need some help, you go to the others and take some help. Okay, you always have to be a self learner. It is very important. That's how you can grow. Not only Flutter, anything, try to be a self learner. You might miss some class because of your sick, or like you might not have notes, but if you are a self learner you can learn the stuff all by yourself. Okay, by going through this you will understand that scaffold takes app bar. Okay, so somewhere it will be mentioned. Okay, I'm not going to go through this since I already know that. I will go to scaffold, press control space bar, app bar. If I hover my mouse, app bar takes preferred size widget. Okay, but we actually have something like app bar widget. Okay, I know that I can give something like this. Okay, but let's find out whether I should give it this or not. Okay, I'll go to app bar, go to definition. It has taken me to preferred size widget. I will see what has like what prefer size definition is okay. I should go to definition, I think. Okay, so definition, wait, right click, go to definition, and prefer size is a abstract class. So abstract class means it can't be instantiated. Okay, I'll go to peak and then peak implementations. So I will see there are so many implementations. You can see one of that is app bar. So which means that I can just give app bar off and app bar off for something that accepts prefer size widget. So app bar off. Okay, right now give me a second guys, somebody is knocking. Okay, so I can give app bar instead of like preferred size widget is something that is accepted. I can't give preferred size widget because it's an abstract class. Okay, and then I can give app bar. I will see what app bar accepts. So as soon as I add app bar, let's see what happens to our app. Okay, you can see a blue bar has appeared on top, and then I can see number of options over here. So how I got these options, guys? So what is the keyboard shortcut I have done? Okay, it's control space, control space, control dot. Okay, these are the two things where I am doing it, like where I am using the most. You can try both. See, if I hover my mouse and press control dot, it will give me some options. Whatever the bulb is doing, that is giving. If I just go here and click control space, it is showing some information. Like this is showing recommendations for app bar. If I go inside these brackets and press control space, it will show me the properties of this. Properties are like what methods, what functions it has got, and all that information will be shown. So one of the thing I can quickly try is title. Okay, if I hover over the title, you can see it takes a widget. Widget means immediately I can give text. Okay, so wall, okay, images app. Okay, so now we have actually given some images app. So I'll make it column and see. Okay, and then wrap this inside single child scroll view. See, I'm not remembering this stuff. I'm using code recommendations to fill it. Okay, and then now we have an app. We can actually make it good if you change this to grid view. Okay, let me change to grid view. Okay, I will get rid of this also. So grid view needs grid delegate. So grid delegate needs silver grid delegate. So yesterday we have written that example, right? Where is that? I'll immediately go to that example and see what I could do. Give me a second. Okay, sorry guys, it's my son actually. He wants me to play with him. Okay, so grid delegate, we know that like we can, like yesterday we have we have understood that we can actually give something like this. Okay, so it's important to not worry about this kind of code, guys. Okay, like as long as you have an example of working example of grid view, this is something you can use, and later you can find out the answers. So now we have actually done an app. Okay, maybe what you can do is like try to probably like you have some images in your phone, right? Try to find out what option we can use for that thing. Like maybe probably I think we can use something like file. I'm not sure. maybe you can actually try it. Okay, it's okay if you can't do it, but give a try. You have so many images in your app, and we can actually develop our own images app like this. Okay, if you put some network images, you can actually see whether images are native, like robo, sarkar, master, blah blah, like the movie names which you have given yesterday. Okay, so like this you can actually develop some maps. So we have added some app bar, added images. You can actually try more options here. For example, if I go here, there is something like actions. Okay, and if you don't know how to write them, you just go to documentation part, and then if I want this kind of app bar, okay, what I can do is I can see what they have used. App bar title, they have given something like actions. Okay, actions. I'll just copy paste that code and I will put it here. So I will remove this thing what I have not like where we don't have code. Okay, wherever those errors not implement, I will just remove it, and you can see that we have options. Okay, so we'll try to discuss more about like how to implement these options in the future classes, but right now it's not important. Okay, right now our main important is to learn how to develop user interfaces. I think whoever are computer programmers know it's how difficult is to write a user interface using HTML, CSS. It's very difficult, right? Do you agree or not? Yep. Okay, yeah. So but when it comes to Flutter, you can actually design user interfaces very much better. Just imagine, like, if I select Chrome from here and let me load the same app inside a browser. Okay, I'm stopping this. So I'm running this so that it will load in a web browser. Okay, and we'll see whether it will work or not. Okay, so the web browser has opened. Possibly it's loading. Okay, so guys, can you see it? We have got an menu bar with options. Okay, and then we have got images loaded. So this is the flexibility we have in Flutter. So you wrote a single code that worked on the mobile as well as the website. Okay, in future you will be actually able to develop the, like, this same code will work on the Windows. Like you will be able to actually install it, and then when somebody clicks that app, it will open like a browser, like a music player. Okay, so that's the benefit of using the Flutter. So that's the meaning of developing cross-platform apps. Yeah, I think possibly it will support. Okay, 1 2 3 and then save. Yep, it supports. Okay, so you can explore this stuff, but there is some option which you can actually try. And one more thing is, those guys who are having trouble with RAM, like not having good RAM in your laptops. Okay, so what you can do is you can actually use Visual Studio Code, enable this Chrome option, and then load apps in the mobile. Okay, like load apps in the mobiles. Let me run this again. And in future classes, I'll actually show you some exciting things you can do in browser also. Like if you're not using emulator and if you want to use only browser, we can actually mimic the emulator part in browser also. But there may be some limitations. For example, this is a Google Chrome browser, right? So this is like a website. What I can do is I can press Ctrl Shift J. Okay, don't try to remember all this stuff, don't worry, and then click on this option. Okay, so you can see that I can select a device from here. Okay, iPhone. So this is how it looks on iPhone. Wait, Nana. Okay, this is how it looks on Galaxy S5. Okay, this is some exciting stuff. I'm not sure whether you guys already aware of this or not, but I will like these are part of debugging skills. Okay, so that's where I am saying it's important to have debugging skills. Is this how you debug your like HTML or web apps? Like you'll go to this shift J and try to find these options. Okay, try to find the whole code. Have you tried this, guys? Maybe whoever is trying so many programs might have tried this. These kind of things you'll actually not find in internet. It's very difficult to find in internet also, because internet will only share you information what you have asked for, but not what else is there. Okay, what I mean is, if you search something in Google, it will show what you have searched for. It will not show that there is a better option. It will not show that. Okay, so it will take so much time to understand what are the better options which we have. So why I'm suggesting this web browser is, in case if you are not able to set up your emulator, and if you are using Dartpad, as a next step, this is something what you could do. Okay, in order to enable this, there is something you have to do. Like try to figure it out yourself. If you're not able to do it, that is fine. I will try to share the link if you contact me. Okay, what you have to follow. Okay, so we'll like today we have actually looked into adding images. Okay, and then tomorrow we look at dialogues. We have partially looked at app bar. Okay, now I am confident that you will be able to add many other things. Okay, okay, so like all you have to do is keep trying. So tomorrow we look into dialogues, and then app bar, bottom bar, we'll try to expand whatever discussion we have made, and then I will leave these things to you. Okay, custom app bar, custom bottom bar. Okay, I will leave these things to you, and I have some videos also, and I think you will be able to follow them from there. Okay. Okay, okay, guys. So like, shall we end this call? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for attending. Have a good day. Okay, if you are having any queries, just contact me. Okay, thank you.
That's at the color